Well, hey guys, it's Christy here, and this is a quick video because I've been hinting at this a couple times online, and actually I dropped some hint in another video as well. It's time to debrief you on Operation Shiny Object. So the history of this is, basically, it's not really an operation so much as a running joke within the progressive YouTube community that bearing cannot be criticized without responding. It's pretty much a given that if a video that any of the progressive YouTubers are making comes out and we make any criticism whatsoever of bearing, he has to respond and he has to attack us for it because his ego is so fragile. He literally cannot handle any criticism without response. It seems to be beyond him. And the way that this comes together with Operation Shiny Object is, if you remember back about a year ago, several YouTubers, for instance Tim from Demotivator Opinion and Michael Rowlands, were making videos documenting the pattern of how bearing would find a small channel, especially like a small feminist channel, and he would put it up as bait for his trollish followers to go, and they would downvote it and basically harass the person until they, many of them shut down their videos, some of them shut down their channels. Some people withstood it, but there was a lot of abuse that was being led by bearing. And when it was pointed out, he denied personal responsibility in any way. He made very weak attempts to try to excuse his behavior by saying there's a disclaimer and, oh, occasionally I'll say my fans not to do it. But then, of course, he'll go into other people's comments and make shitty comments and leave a smile in order to, it's like bullshit attracting flies. Bearing will go and dump a comment in a video's comment section and all his fans will be like, oh, senpai, notice me. So people had been asking him, Tim and Michael had been pointing this out to him, and he absolutely refused to take responsibility. And at the same time, we are noticing this pattern that if you ever bring up Bearing's name, even in a random hangout that's not about him, he ends up finding out about it and making a video response to you. So I think it was about February of this year, I kind of posted a joke in a group I'm a member of, saying, oh yeah, we should do Operation Shiny Object, which is in order to get Bearing to stop harassing these small feminist channels and these small feminist YouTubers, we should just, whenever we make a video that's critical of Bearing, that's Bearing bait, because he's going to take it. And there were several of us who basically were willing to handle the harassment of Bearing's fans. Sorry, I'll clear my throat. Ready to handle the harassment of Bearing's fans because we were basically being human shields. I can block a bunch of people, and Bearing's fans have said, and they doxed me, they swatted me. It's been, I've been, and I'm still here. So blocking their comments is not a problem for me, and because I won't let them silence me. But of course, I'm a middle-aged woman. I don't really care what 14-year-old boys on the internet think of me. So I can handle it better than a smaller channel of 300 being flooded by literally 3,000 or 4,000 Bearing fans. So several of us have kind of had this running joke, Operation Shiny Object, and it's whenever we make content that's critical of Bearing, or if you go to my postmodernism part 2 video, I actually explicitly use the phrase Bearing bait right before the Bronx blogger goes off on and it wasn't planned. He just did a spontaneous sort of rant against Bearing, and I was like, well, that's Bearing bait. He's going to have to make a response to that. And now, of course, I called it Bearing bait to be specific about the fact that, hey, here's the kind of thing that Bearing would feel the need to respond to because he can't handle criticism. So basically, there's, and I guess I'll tie this in together, Sinatra Says is a channel that's recently made a video compilation where a bunch of anti-SJWs are whining. They're going, I love it, the fact that that SJWs hate me. Why won't they talk to me? Why won't they do videos about my content? Just whining and complaining, and it's hilarious. But in that video, Bearing says, oh, why are you being such a lol cow? Well, wasn't like a deliberate attempt because it didn't have to be. You could just bait Bearing by criticizing him. But yeah, if you look at his channel over the last year, he stopped going after smaller channels the way he used to. He stopped going after small feminists the way he used to. And his entire channel is just a boring glut of the same drama featuring Michael Rowlands, Kevin, Logan, Tim from Demotivator Opinion, myself, the Bronx blogger, Steve Shives. It's just repetitive garbage because he takes the bait. He can't not take the bait. And yes, in the comment section of his videos, you'll get his sycophantic fans telling him how great he is. But I noticed on the Dusty Smith criticism video, a bunch of people said, Bearing's gone downhill, he's boring, he's repetitive, it's just YouTube drama, there's nothing there. And that was kind of the point of Operation Shiny Object. is to get Bering to get so caught up in his own personal drama and his fragile ego that he would pick responding to people who he really shouldn't be responding to because it's a waste of his time and just basically is repetitive content on his channel, to glut up his content with that instead of abusing smaller channels. And I'm coming out with it now because, well, we won. Like, he's basically created a bunch of garbage, self-absorbed drama on his channel that is just all about him and nothing of real merit or content. And we accomplished our goal with Operation Shiny Object. We basically became the human shields for smaller channels because we were willing to criticize Bering, and usually that's all it takes to get a response from him. So yeah, just debriefing you on Operation Shiny Object. We thought it was hilarious. I found that comment about being a lolcow especially hilarious because Bering doesn't realize the extent to which we've been baiting him since the first part of this year. So yeah, nice one, Bering. You totally fell for it. Guess that's going to wrap it up for me. I've been Christy. You've been awesome. Thanks so much for your time and attention. Sorry for the shaky camera. My arm is getting sore. And I'll see you all again really soon. Bye-bye.